Hi everyone, Jess here. Happy Wednesday. So today we're going to be talking to Elle. So Elle works for an app called Cogo and she's the UK market manager. So Elle will tell you more in detail, but basically Cogo helps you match your spendings with your values, so for people and for the planet. And yeah, basically helps you live a more ethical life. So we'll get Elle to join the chat right now. She came to First Mile last year and did a lunch and learn, and we were just all like, oh my god, this is amazing, this is such a cool app. So we thought we'd have her on today to tell everyone what a cool app Cogo is.
Hello, thank you. What a lovely introduction. Pleased to be here and pleased to be back, albeit virtually compared to last time. Great to be here.
Yes. Yeah, I was trying to remember when exactly it was that you came to First Mile, but it was about a year ago now, wasn't it?
Wow, yeah, probably, yeah.
Yeah. How are you? You good?
Good, yeah. Never been on so many walks before in my life, doing wholesome activities of banana bread making and sourdough, just a COVID cliche at home. But no, all good and happy to be here.
Great. Oh, cool. Well, I'm really, really happy to have you on today because, like I was saying just now, I was just blown away by, your presentation last year, and I was just like, oh my God, everyone needs to, to have this app, and it just makes it really, really easy to, pick and choose what you care about, and then change very easy, some very easy tricks and tips in your life to be more ethical and all that. But before we go up to Cogo, I think it'd be really, really cool if you introduce yourself, because I know you've got a very cool sustainable background, and I think you're one of the sustainability queens that we have.
Thank you.
So yeah, if you want to tell us how you got into the sustainability world in the first place, that'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. So it all kick-started when I was at university in Manchester, and I'd been really aware about sustainability, but I kind of always felt like it was big picture. So I'd watch documentaries and stuff and always talk about how awful things were. But what really led me to kind of act and do stuff was fashion. So I'd always been really interested in fashion. I was looking to kind of pursue a career there. And I found it so interesting that I got to uni, and we are all meant to be and are very broke individuals, right? But yeah, all my housemates, myself included, could afford to have, ASOS deliveries every, week, if not more. And I really saw kind of then the issue kind of with consumption, and I read up a lot about fast fashion and the industry. And to that point, I've been so separated. I was passionate about environmentalism, sustainability and ethics, but I'd never connected it with fashion whatsoever. Yeah. So I started to read up a lot more, and I set up a project to re-engage people with buying secondhand and vintage as I got really into it, because, a lot of my friends be like, yeah, I want to shop secondhand vintage, but, when I go to the charity shop or these stores, it's just like not that exciting, and I don't want to rifle through stuff. So I set up a shop called The Closet, which was all about kind of challenging preconceptions about shopping secondhand, and we had it on campus to really kind of attract as many students there. And then it kind of developed from that, and I then left uni, as many graduates do, scrambled to get a job anywhere possible, so kind of left a bit of that behind, but was always there and really kind of invigorated by it. And then in 2016, in a kind of bid for me to kind of challenge myself a bit more, I decided that my New Year's resolution, and the only New Year's resolution I've ever stuck to before in my life, was to shop sustainably or secondhand. So I wasn't going to buy any new fashion unless I knew the kind of direct journey of it and its kind of credentials. And I presumed that you could just Google this. So I was like, fantastic, start the year off, I'll just Google how to be more sustainable in fashion, a list of brands, and I soon discovered that it was far, far from that. So I set up a platform just to hold myself accountable to Sustainable Hustle, because I was coming across sustainable fashion brands, but it was all either kind of like hemp, oatmeal coloured clothing, or it was super expensive. And I was like, how is this accessible? But there was kind of, starting in 2016, some really kind of brands coming through the woodworks. So I just talk about that and celebrate them and connect with the businesses, because they were kind of really small at the time, on the cusp. And then it kind of grew to now sustainability in fashion kind of being at the forefront. You turn over a fashion magazine, or just any publication, and it's there, which is brilliant. Still a very long way to go. So yeah, my journey in was sustainability in fashion. But my biggest thing is, striving to make sustainability accessible for everybody. So hence how I came to work at Cogo and translating that work there now.
Wow, amazing. That's so cool. It's like you were kind of, because last year was all about sustainable fashion, like everyone was talking about that, but you were already talking about it before it became such like a global thing, and that everyone else was talking about it. So yeah, that's really cool. And do you still manage to do that, to do your sustainable hustle at the same time as Cogo?
As much as possible. So I mean, pre all of this, I try to do as many talks as I can. I particularly try and focus on doing stuff at schools. Again, my big thing is kind of not preaching to people who are already involved in it, but making it accessible and getting people excited. But I'm lucky that my work now at Cogo intertwines with it. So we have a fashion section. I pushed for a second-hand fashion action to be part of our new feature. So it's brilliant to, something that was my interest and passion to be translating day to day to my work at Cogo. So yeah. Do you want to tell the audience what Cogo is? Yeah, absolutely. So Cogo is an app that helps people spend with ethical and sustainable businesses. So think of it as a sustainable Fitbit. So we're at a time where we all want to be more sustainable and ethical, more so than ever before. But it's hard to know where to begin, taking me back to kind of my journey when I wanted to find sustainable fashion. I literally thought I could Google it and all this stuff would come up. So what we do is we take 120 accreditations and we put them into 12 easy badges, and we put these up against the businesses listed on our app. So there's 20,000 businesses that you can discover that we've ranked as ethical and sustainable for various things, from living wage to reducing waste to social enterprise. Because again, sustainability is so widely encompassing, and to get people engaged and inspired, we need to connect with what they care about most. So hence a variety of things on them. We're always looking to improve that. But the most exciting part about Cogo, and why I joined the team as part of the expansion, is because taking our passion to help people vote with their money and match their spending with ethical and sustainable businesses, we introduced a technology called open banking, which allows you to see the percentage of your ethical and sustainable spending, and we help you to swap it out to our amazing 20,000 businesses. And then in addition to that, 3 weeks ago, we took this even further, and we've just launched a really exciting real-time carbon footprint tracker, which again links into your spending. So helping you to quite literally see your planet positive impact. So we're striving for a world where, everybody kind of seems to know their Uber rating. It was kind of this moment in pop culture. It's like, what's your Uber rating? And you saw people putting it in their like dating profiles and whatnot. We want to make it as easy as possible for people to know their impact and act.
Yeah, amazing. We've actually got a question from Bruce, who's our CEO. And he's asking, is the data on environmental impact easy to get? So from those 20,000 businesses, is it easy for you to get that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, despite us being a tech company, and I'm presuming this question is about kind of the data and accrediting those businesses, right? So despite us having all the tech, the API of open banking, which is amazing technology, when it comes to accrediting businesses, that will always be probably the most laboursome task. It needs to be, right? We need to make sure that, there's no greenwashing. We take time to, investigate these businesses. So to be listed on Cogo, you just need one badge. We're not saying that these businesses are 100% sustainable. We're saying this is what they're doing. They've started with one badge, they're on their journey. So for example, with living wage, one of our badges, we were able to tap into the Living Wage Foundation, who are brilliant, and work with them on all their listed businesses, because you're either living wage or not. Where it gets complicated, particularly in fashion and food and hospitality, is that what is reducing waste in one sector is different in another, and that's where we have to get a lot of kind of evidence, whether that be photo, whether that be documentation. But yeah, it's a lot of work to accredit businesses, but we're lucky to kind of be expanding that part of our business as well, to make sure we can get even more businesses listed, because 20,000 sounds like a lot, but again, to conclude our mission to be accessible, we want to be across the whole of the UK, from a small village up in Scotland to walking out your front door in London.
Wow. So because at the moment, is it just in London?
So we're across the UK. So we
Okay.
started off just in London for kind of critical mass, and then last August we expanded across the UK, and that was with help of the Living Wage Foundation as well.
Okay. Oh, cool. And so you know how you mentioned that you guys are like really, really passionate about people knowing their carbon footprint and all that. Why is that?
Well, we all know that we have carbon footprints, right?
Yeah.
But the language in sustainability, particularly around carbon footprints, is really complicated. We all know, whether you care about sustainability or not, that we need to fly less. But we don't really understand other aspects of our life to do it. And we're really passionate about carbon footprint being a really good place for people to start. It's a tangible kind of percentage that we can gather, and really translates to everything you're doing day to day. So we worked with Mike Berners-Lee, who's the world leading expert on this. And this is his passion as well, making sure that carbon footprint conversations are accessible and that everybody is on the same page to prevent that confusion. And you know, carbon footprint calculators are out there. We are by no means the first to do it, but we really felt that the ones that are out there, you log on, you enter how many flights you do a year, a bit about your diet, you get your percentage, you're shocked, you probably know you should fly less, but that's about it. And we really wanted to make sure that everything we're doing is an ongoing loop. You know, nobody is ever going to be 100% sustainable, and we get that. And hence why carbon footprinting and making it a tracker and an ongoing journey was so important to us.
Cool. You know how you said at the beginning, so when someone signs up to the app, they can pick, you know, what they care about. So if the businesses in their area pay the living wage, or if it's cruelty-free, vegan, all that, have you noticed a pattern of like everyone going for the same, or like one of those not being ticked as much as the others? Like, have you noticed any of that?
Absolutely. So we do a report every month that we send to our businesses to help them understand what consumers care about, and also app users as well can look at in their account settings what is the most popular of the 12 badges. So without a doubt, it has never moved from place number one is reducing waste. And then we had carbon conscious, carbon neutral, which is always kind of second, third. So hence why it kind of gave us even more reasoning to pursue the carbon tracker features. But interestingly, in like the past 3 months of lockdown, social enterprise and living wage have been climbing to top 5. And I think a lot of that is to do with the sentiment of, you know, key workers and our kind of respect and advocating for them there being even more at the forefront, which is kind of one real benefit that we can see over the past few months. And I think social enterprise a lot as well is to do with kind of supporting independence in your community as well. So we've taken that information. We want to definitely do a lot more work on helping people to see the independence in their area and so on.
Great. I've seen one of the questions, someone asked if you guys worked with BCorp. I know you guys are a certified BCorp, but do you do much like actually with them?
Yeah, so BCorp are amazing, and we are pleased to be one of the kind of tech companies who are BCorp listed on the consumer side, so kind of bringing the BCorp mission to consumers. So loads of our businesses are BCorp certified naturally, and we definitely want to pursue doing a lot more on that aspect. The reason we don't necessarily have a BCorp badge at the moment is because our whole thing is about accessibility, so we make it super easy, living wage, reducing social enterprise, and BCorp are doing some amazing work at the moment to kind of educate consumers on what BCorp means. So yeah, definitely in the future we'll look to kind of make that kind of more top of mind as the movement grows. Cool.
You said, I have to ask, as I work for First Mile, you said that the most, one of the most ticked ones as well was, you know, reducing waste and all that. How does the business actually, do they just have to say, yeah, we recycle? Like, how does that actually work?
Completely. And it's super complicated on the reducing waste front, and I think particularly for independents as well, who don't necessarily have the certifications that fall under that category, but naturally as small businesses are doing amazing work, particularly on food waste. So in hospitality we work a lot with the Sustainable Restaurant Association, who do a lot of the accreditation, and they're verified, and then we also focus depending on the industry. So in hospitality and restaurants, a lot of our work is on food waste, in particular. So we do a lot of work there on that evidence side. In fashion, a lot of it is to do with material and upcycling. But also this information is open source. So at Cogo, we're all about 100% transparency. So if you go to our website, you can also see the accreditation for each of our badges if you're interested in that information. And we're doing a big project to, share that to help small businesses to learn what they need to do to be more sustainable.
Great. And if there's a business, currently watching this, is it easy to kind of, get set up with you guys? Do you have to pay, or what kind of, how does that work if I'm a business that wants to?
Absolutely, yeah. So small independent businesses are, again, at the forefront. These businesses are already doing so much. And it's a real challenge because, again, loads of these businesses were doing sustainability before it was, the PR opportunity that you see everywhere, which I can come on to talk about. So for those guys, we make sure it is next to nothing, if not free. Yeah. And our big kind of charge is with the kind of bigger businesses who have, hundreds of stores across the UK. And that's where the payment is, and we've done that on purpose to equate and make sure that those bigger players who need to do a lot more and need to learn from these independents are supplementing that. But small businesses, independents, we welcome with open arms and work with them directly to make sure that we can make it as easy as possible for them to be listed. So as a business as well, you also, as I mentioned, receive a monthly report showing you the data of what consumers care about, and then we do a lot in terms of our community marketing to kind of talk about the amazing people behind these businesses.
That's amazing. That's really cool. We have Bruce again, who's very keen with today's chat. He's asking if he buys from Amazon, for example, will that data appear on Cogo?
Yeah, absolutely. So with open banking, it's really exciting. You can see the breakdown of all your spending. And Amazon, for example, is not a Cogo listed business. Really? So so surprising. Wow. So what we would do, Bruce, in that situation, and we need to do a lot more work on our data to get the drill down, is switch that perhaps to another business that is Cogo accredited. So say, for example, this is what we're aiming for, you shop with Amazon Fresh. We would swap it out to an amazing business such as Ethical Superstore, who, a vegan grocery, or somebody like Oddbox, and so on there.
Yeah, oh, cool. And I'm really curious, because the app does so much, like who's the team, behind it all? Like, is it like a startup and there's like 5 of you, or has it really grown? Like, what happens behind the scenes? Who's there?
Yeah, so a lot. And I have to put my amazing product and data team center stage, who don't get enough attention but are the absolute heartbeat of building this app. So when I joined, there was probably about 8 of us based in the UK. So we started in New Zealand and we moved over to the UK to launch in this market because we have the open banking technology, which New Zealand now has but didn't have at the time. So 2 worse time zones, which is another story, but everybody does brilliantly to make it work, and we take it in turns. I started, and it was probably about 10 and a mixture of people working part-time, and now we're about 20 to 25 people, and we're about to expand that even further, which is brilliant. And we have some amazing advisors who work with us as well. Kibo agency, headed up by Sam Nar, who is on this call, helps a lot with our marketing and activation, and they do an amazing job in bringing to light everything we're doing, again making it accessible, fun and creative. We don't want sustainability to ever be a kind of drag, but the big heartbeat, as I mentioned, is our product team, who work round the clock, and that's building the app, but also doing a lot of user testing. So we have a big UX team, user experience, and we do 5 to 6 user interviews a week, both with people who have the app and those who know nothing about Cogo, to make sure that when we're developing our product, it just goes back to the user, that experience, what would help you be more sustainable. So anybody in the school, if you want to get involved in user testing, our door is very much always open.
Yeah, cool. And have you, with Cogo, what would you say, like with you can see what everyone ticks, what they tick, how maybe they change, you know, when they first download Cogo and then 6 months later how everything changes. What would you say to someone watching if they can make one simple, easy, quick change, you know, in their life to make it more sustainable, more ethical? What do you think that is?
Sustainability, and definitely this was my plan when I first started out, isn't about getting rid of all the stuff you already have and buying loads of expensive reusable water bottles or sustainable secondhand clothing. What you already have is the most sustainable thing, and we're really passionate about that at Cogo. Although we're connected to spending and we encourage people to find businesses, we want to make sure that actually it's about treasuring what you do have day to day. So I'd say that is first and foremost. It's not about buying loads of new fancy sustainable stuff. When said stuff breaks or you don't have it, definitely invest with a Cogo business, but that is our main thing first and foremost.
Right, cool. And so you said that you'd recently launched your carbon footprint calculator. Is there anything in the pipeline, something else coming out in like the next few months that you can maybe give us a little sneak peek of or tell us in advance?
Yeah, absolutely. So you'll be really pleased to hear this. So when we launched the carbon footprint tracker, we launched actions to help people reduce it. Again, we didn't just want to tell people their percentage. We were like, how can we help people on their journey? So the actions are: fashion and shopping secondhand can lower your footprint by 10% a year, which is staggering. Food, unsurprisingly, and for food as well, we make sure not to tell people that you need to go 100% vegan overnight. We know that's not feasible. We have different stages. Our next is transport, which is definitely topical at the moment, and then energy. So can you switch to a renewable energy provider? But these are 4 actions and we want to develop that further. So our next big one is recycling and composting at home. So we're doing a lot of work there, because although I'm sure first mile, this must be a conversation you often have, that, you know, surely by now, especially, you know, even when I was at primary school, recycling, you were taught about it, everybody knew what to do. You know, you see somebody in the office putting something in the wrong bin, you'll definitely say something. There's still a lot more kind of education and work to be done, and to make conversations about compost interesting and exciting. So that's next in the pipeline, and transport as well. So again, one of the great benefits, despite all the devastation from lockdown, is the fact that everybody is cycling a lot more. Bike sales are up by 250% and people are traveling less. So we want to make sure that we can further that by connecting people to bike shops, cool businesses. When it comes to traveling, perhaps we don't need to book a big summer holiday abroad every year, and we can help show hotels and stuff in the UK. So yeah, that's our big next thing. And then hopefully soon we're going through another investment round that will look to expand in other markets beyond the UK and New Zealand. So really exciting times.
Okay, so you've got loads
going on, exciting stuff.
Do you think, and this is you as you, not Cogo, because this is one of my big worries at the moment. I'm like, oh, it's amazing, you know, like you said, everyone's cycling. You've said you've never done so many walks in your life. Obviously no one's flying, or, you know, a tiny percentage of people going home and stuff like that. Do you think, obviously in a few months when we can start traveling and all that again, do you think, I know with Cogo, you know, you really want to encourage that, but do you think it will all go back to the new normal and people will suddenly fly loads because obviously everyone's been home and so everyone's just like, oh, I going on holiday? Or do you think, like you said, people will be like, oh, actually maybe let's travel more local, let's go, let's use more trains and stay in the UK? What do you personally think will happen?
So we definitely hope for the latter is the key thing. And I think the responsibility is, like, you know, brands like Cogo using our data to show that. So people's carbon footprints have dropped by like 60% during lockdown, and we're going to do a kind of big bit of press around that to help inspire people to be like, look, we've got the stats to show that. I think if we look business wise to other countries who have kind of lockdowns been lifted, there's been this big kind of revenge buying, which is quite kind of worrying. So we definitely want to make sure that, you know, if you are going to buy, if you are going to hit the town, which I'm sure a lot of people really want to do, make sure that we don't forget all the amazing work we did at the beginning to support independents and celebrate them. And make the right choices. So we hope the latter. I don't think it will be as instant as we wish it would be, but I think we're already seeing a big shift.
Yeah, great, amazing, cool. Well, thanks so much for talking to me today. It was lovely to see you again, even though it was virtually.
Thank you, great to be here.
Yeah, no, it's so it's really refreshing and really fun and exciting to hear all the cool stuff that you guys are doing. And I recently today, because you can link more than one bank account on the app, I recently added my other bank account, and it's like changed everything. So I'm gonna go through everything again and be like, okay, but obviously January, February, March, you know, compared to April, May, June, the results are completely different because you're at home. So it's really interesting stuff. So yeah, download the app, everyone. It's a really cool app, and I think everyone should have it. It should be one of those you know, when you get your phone and there's apps already in there.
Oh, great idea. We hope. That
would be really cool.
If anybody could pass that on to Apple and Android, that would be great.
Get in touch with Elle.
Please do. Oh, thank you so much. And yeah, we'll let you know when the recycling and compost stuff is listed hopefully soon.
Yeah, definitely. Anything we can do to help with the with the recycling stuff, just get in touch.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for having me. Really enjoyed it.
Me too. Have a lovely rest of your day.
You too. Bye now.
Thanks. Bye everyone.